When trying to discuss the truth about reality and what is real, the question is actually stating what defines your world, and that is based upon what variables are absorbed within the environment that are used to measure and map the type of world we exist within. In essence, we are not looking to discover what reality is, because reality in itself is subjective and can be defined from a multiple standpoint, making any one reality moot, because in actuality, we live in a multi-layered perceptual reality, or better yet, it is an environment that is defined from many different perspectives, making all correct and all wrong at the same time. Not one perception of reality is right or wrong, it is just different, like the world seen from an ant or a cat or a person. In this section, we turn to the philosophies of dualism and René Descartes, and how to better understand the aspects of what is real. We can surmise this ideology with this quote from Descartes when concerning the dynamics of this concept. The first was never to accept anything for true, which I did not clearly know to be such. That is to say, carefully to avoid precipitancy and prejudice, and to comprise nothing more in my judgment than what was presented to my mind so clearly and distinctly as to exclude all ground of doubt. This ideology, taken from Discours de la Méthode, or Discourse on Method, gives a well-established boundary when trying to formulate how we should proceed when trying to understand the environment that is around us. In essence, we can only describe our environment through the sense modalities that we as a species possess, and thus must use this to understand how we perceive reality and not reality itself. For it is our perceptions that the world is built and destroyed, and thus we must use these tools of the mind to map out our struggles and victories throughout life and existence. So here it is in the sensory perceptual network that we find the strings that pull the tapestry of our world together. We understand that the mind and the world that is shaped around the perceiving. The mental coordinator, as defined by the late great Manly P. Hall, is where all of our information is processed and where the true magic begins. So, we must now surmise that our senses are the doorways that we travel to exist within this reality, considering that everything is defined by their functions and attributes. Now, as we pursue this mode of thinking, we must come to the terms that we are relying on, something that has errors and problems when it comes to calculating the basics of its own nature. This is to say that when we see something with our eyes, it can lie to us and make the reality that we knew to be so real to be nothing more but a false reflection of our own ego. When dealing with this aspect of the human condition, we must take into account that the primary creator of what we define as existence is based upon the coherence and cohesion of these various organs. In this realm of study, we must focus upon the nature of social and personal perceptions when concerned with the mental hemisphere. Here we derive the rest of our pursuit towards the study of social psychology, with emphasis on the importance of social and personal perception. Our environment is composed of various elements that have their own variable placements in order to define our world within terms in which we can interpret. Within the interactive environment we call life, we as individuals consume or process a large amount of data that is absorbed by our sensory organs. The information that is presented by our world has unlimited potential for the retrieval of several correspondences. These correspondences deem a solution in order to judge which information is useful to allow one to navigate within the world. as well as that which can be either overlooked or put to the wayside. In essence and in fact of truth, we never get the full picture of the world around us. We only get its shadow perception. It is within this shadow perception reality that we play, work, and learn to live within in order to understand not only our world, but ourselves. It is this shadow perception that helps to define what and who we are to ourselves and the world around us. The importance of duality can be seen when we break down the aspects of social perception. This dualistic nature comes from the existence of two types of perceptions. One, that of the external world, which connects to our minds, and two, that of the internal world, which is our mind. In all relevance, those issues which are outside of the mind have no bearing unless they are incorporated into the mind. The importance of perception over environment can be stated in the way in which we describe the social and psychological dynamics of our world and lives. All variables that are encompassed within the frameworks of perception are levied within the mind and build what is called a mental landscape. This mental landscape is what we see as our world and all of the things that matter or exist to us. This landscape is a mental representation of the external and internal worlds in which we must operate within to love, work, and play. The real magic behind this perceptual reality is that which Descartes has stated: reality has a dualistic aspect that creates multiple scenarios that must be diagnosed. The difficulty is that the dualistic nature of the mental landscape is integrated within the function of the mind, which is composed of both the perceived mind and the subconscious mind. It is the perceived mind that we call reality and what we deem as real. The nature of the mental landscape surrounds two aspects. The mind is the root of the perceptual world, and dualism states the fact that the mind operates within two mental poles. These poles are the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and it is within the conscious mind that perception becomes a reality. The subconscious mind is composed of all aspects of the environment which contains variables that are both perceived and not perceived. Henceforth, it is within the conscious mind that we operate, but it is the subconscious mind that truly is our world. We must learn to understand the subconscious mind, for it is here in the subconscious mind that the world of perception finds its foundation, and it is here where you must discover the path leading to your foundation. The foundation of our mental landscape is comprised of many things, but here we shall focus on acquiring an understanding of the variables that comprise this dynamic. We retain a strong comprehension when examining its three natural aspects: behavior, personality, and the subconscious mind. We must also take into account that the subconscious mind is comprised of the environment and all external attributes that we call the physical world, as well as the external mind or subconscious reality. But before we can proceed to understanding the subconscious mind, we first have to understand personality and behavior. In terms of personality, we must also review Carl Jung's studies upon the personality and how it operates. Persona, individuality or personality, is our socialization, experiences, and our collective psyche, and is how we define the path of how we operate within the world. In essence, it tells who we are not only to others, but to ourselves as well. It becomes the blueprint of how we navigate through our path in life. The personality is comprised of the many different traits weaving the tapestry of I am that I am, and who am I and who you are, as well as we in a whole as a multi-nation modern-day society. This concludes the third video. If you are interested in this material, please visit our website. Thank you.